Hello, everyone. Today, I'm sharing with you how to unify the style of stores across multiple platforms. This is a systemic problem that almost all sellers operating on multiple platforms will encounter after reaching a certain stage. You may have already noticed one style for Taobao, another for Tmall, another for JD.com, and each platform, Douyin, cross-border e-commerce, has its own logic. Each platform works individually, but when put together, you'll find that the style becomes increasingly inconsistent, maintenance becomes increasingly tiring, and brand identity weakens. So the question arises, how can you unify the style of your stores across multiple platforms without affecting conversion rates on each platform? Below, I won't discuss design techniques, but rather explain this clearly from three dimensions: cognitive, systemic, and execution. First, the conclusion. Unified style pages looking exactly the same. This is where many people misunderstand from the start. Many sellers understand unified style as the same homepage, the same layout, the same expression. But the reality is often, it works barely on one platform, but feels awkward on another. Conversion and efficiency are both negatively impacted. True style unification is never about page duplication, but about consistent recognition. 2. Why does page unification actually destroy style? Because users' psychological state is completely different when entering a page on different platforms. A simple comparison: Taobao, willing to browse, take their time. Tmall, look for brands, look for stability. JD.com, need speed, need to choose. TikTok, emotionally driven, extremely quick decision making. Cross-border, rational judgment, information priority. If you force the same page logic, the result is often, it seems too slow on some platforms, it seems too vague on some platforms, it seems too complex on some platforms. Style is not appearance, but rather giving the right feeling in the right context. 3. What truly needs unification is the four fundamental elements of style. To achieve a unified style across multiple platforms, you must first clarify the levels that can be unified. 1. Unified brand positioning. This is the first level. Regardless of the platform, the user's first impression of you should be consistent. What do you primarily sell? What price range do you target? Are you geared towards professional, value, design-oriented, functional? If, on different platforms, your positioning is vague, your tone is inconsistent, your value proposition wavers, even with a unified style, users will still feel you don't feel like a unified store. Without a stable positioning, style is meaningless. 2. Unified core. Selling point structure. This is the skeleton. Selling points can be worded differently, but the order and focus of the selling points must remain consistent. For example, important focus, safety, functionality, user experience. Which is primary? Which is secondary? If Taobao emphasizes A, JD.com emphasizes B, and Douyin emphasizes C, users seeing your product on different platforms will subconsciously feel, this store seems to sell different things in different places. A unified style begins with a unified logic. 3. Unified visual identity elements. This is the identification layer. This layer is what everyone is most familiar with. The design part, including main color direction, image style, realistic, scene, function, font style, rational, gentle, strong contrast. The key is not exactly the same, but to achieve. Regardless of the platform, users can immediately tell, this is the same company. This is brand identity, not page replication. 4. Unified restraint. This is the most easily overlooked. This is extremely important. Many platforms experience style inconsistencies, not because of poor design, but because of inconsistent effort. For example, Taobao is lively, Douyin is exciting, but Tamal is suddenly quiet. This contrast creates a sense of disconnect for users. The correct approach is, each platform has a different expression, but the overall effort is similar. It shouldn't be noisy one moment and cold the next. A unified style largely comes from emotional stability. IV. So how should different platforms adjust themselves? Under the premise of underlying consistency, you can differentiate the expression methods like this: Taobao, Tmall, complete structure, clear hierarchy, allowing a certain amount of information. JD.com, highlighting selling points, clear parameters, and a clear main focus. Douyin, extremely focused, directly connecting to the content, without complex elaboration. Cross-border, direct information, concise logic, prioritizing trust. You'll find the expression methods differ, but who you are is the same. V. Why do many sellers become more chaotic the more unified they are? Because they are unifying. Page styles, not system rules. Common mistakes include arbitrarily changing styles for each platform, no unified style boundaries, copying whatever looks good. The result is learning from TikTok today, learning from JD.com tomorrow, and then overturning it the day after. Style chaos stems from a lack of unified standards. 6. A truly actionable approach. First, define style boundaries, then adapt to different platforms. A more important step than designing is clearly define what cannot be changed. For example, don't change the main color arbitrarily. Keep the order of core, selling points unchanged. Don't mix image styles. Maintain consistent tone in copywriting. Within these boundaries, making adjustments based on the platform will actually lead to greater stability. Unifying the style essentially reduces choices, not increases design. 7. When must a consistent style be implemented across multiple platforms? When you start encountering these situations, different platforms look completely different. Maintenance costs are rising significantly. New pages are becoming increasingly difficult to create. Brand identity remains consistently weak. This indicates one signal: your business has entered a stage where it needs systematic style management. At this point, relying on piecemeal adjustments will only become increasingly tiring. A practical piece of advice for multi-platform sellers: don't strive for perfection on every platform. What you really need to achieve is look like one entity, feel natural to use, be maintainable in the long term. When style begins to serve efficiency and trust, rather than just looks good, unifying the style becomes much simpler. In short, unifying the style of your multi-platform store design is not about making the pages look identical, but about consistently conveying who you are. Unified logic, consistent brand identity, and adaptable expression are the hallmarks of a truly mature multi-platform style strategy.